Hi, I'm Tristan. My three inspiration cards were compete or earn awards, camera, and one hand use only. From those, I built Mzansi Drift, a one-touch lane switching arcade driver with a social layer. For the first card, compete or earn awards, I added a global rankings board, coins you earn per run to unlock cosmetics, and two post types, high score and a funny wooden spoon when you score under 50. For the second card, the camera card, I used it in two places. QR friending with Expo camera and an optional run photos that uploads photos to Firebase storage when you post to the feed. And finally, for my last card, one hand use only. Everything is thumb reachable. Big targets, bottom sheet panels with a drag handle, and for the core mechanic of the game is a single hold. Hold to move right, release to go left. All screens are designed for one hand use only, and inputs are doable with one finger. Mzansi Drift started in Figma, where I designed each screen in a one-hand layout to satisfy the constraint. From there, I implemented the app into React Native with Expo, using Firebase for authentication, Firestore for live data, and storage for media uploads. I version controlled the whole project in GitHub, committing regularly with documentation, so my repo reflects on the final build. Assets like the pixel art icons and UI were created in Photoshop. I tested all the flows on both iOS and Android. Let's start live. We launched the app in Expo Go.
Mzansi for sure.
And as we can see, it starts with the splash screen. The splash screen shows the logo as well as a short audio sting which matches the theme of my app. And then we replace the stack into the menu. As you can see, I've already logged in. This is because the app uses async storage. It saves my login state and settings locally. So when I reopen the app, it restores them instantly without asking Firebase again. After logging out, you will be redirected as a guest. You can still browse all the main screens, but if you tap on features like Garage or Friends, you'll get a simple prompt that says you need to log in. Even as a guest, you can jump straight into the game. The core mechanic is one-touch lane switching, hold to move right, release to move left. Behind the scenes, the game loop is handled in my gamescreen.csx. Obstacles are spawned at timed intervals with a random lane generator. I use simple AABB collision detection to check if the car overlaps a pothole or a taxi. If you hit a pothole, you lose a life, and it plays one of three random sound effects. If you hit a taxi, that triggers a crash sequence that ends the round. Now I'll log in with my account. You'll see my username and flag load instantly from Firestore. If I open Garage, I can equip and unequip items like the wing, stripes, and plate. Notice how the car in the background updates in real time as I toggle them. Under the hood, each cosmetic is stored as a Boolean field in my Firestore user document. For example, wing equipped or has stripes. When I tap a button, it just runs a simple update doc calls to Firestore. And because I'm using a snapshot listener, the UI refreshes automatically without a reload. You can see by settings, we've got two new buttons, log out and delete account. These are only visible if a user is logged in. This is the feed, where posts from me and my friends appear. Every run creates a post. If it's a new high score, it shows, and if it's under 50, it posts a wooden spoon as a playful award. Technically, the feed is powered by a Firestore collection called Posts. I listen with the real-time snapshot query, filtered to my friends and self, then sort by timestamp, so new runs pop in instantly without refreshing. And because camera was one of my inspiration cards, I also integrated the option to capture a quick photo at the end of a run. That image gets uploaded to Firebase storage and attaches to the post, so your friends can see a snapshot along with your score. Next is add friends. If I tap my QR, the app generates a code with my unique user ID. That makes it easy for someone else to scan and add me. If I go back and tap scan, you'll see the camera open. This uses Expo Camera, and when it detects another user's QR, it runs a mutual update in Firestore with the Ray Union, so both of us are added to each other's friends list. Finally, the friends list itself. It shows my connected users, pulling their username straight from their Firestore user documents. Now, I'll log in and walk you through the sign-up form. The form itself collects a username, email, and password, and lets me select a country flag from a searchable dropdown. Under the hood, when I type sign up, the app calls Firebase Authentications, create user with email and password. If that's successful, I immediately create a corresponding user document in Firestore with the UID as the key. Each new user starts with 500 coins by default, so that they can immediately try out the garage and buy their first cosmetic. That way, the experience feels rewarding right from the beginning. If I go to the feed now, you'll see it's completely empty. That's because this brand new account hasn't posted any runs yet, and it doesn't have any friends linked. The feed query only pulls from my user ID and my friend list, so until I either play around or add friends, there's simply nothing to display. This shows that the data model is working correctly. The feed isn't just static content, it's dynamically driven by Firestore relationships. Now, I'll log on with my main account on a second device. And on this new account, I'll scan my QR code. As soon as the scan succeeds, both Firestore documents are updated with a manual array union. That means the friendship is stored on both users instantly. Back on the new account, you'll see the feed update right away. My earlier posts from my main account now appear here because the query is pulling from the friends list. This is how the camera card ties in, using QR codes with a phone camera to connect users quickly and then syncing their feeds in real time. Now, I'll go ahead and delete the new account. When I confirm, it removes the authentication record in Firebase and also deletes the corresponding Firestore user document. If I switch back to my main account, you'll notice that the friend has already disappeared from my list. That's because the relationship was stored directly on the deleted user's document. Once that document is gone, the query no longer finds them, so they're instantly removed from the interface. This shows that account deletions isn't just surface level. It fully clears up the user data and keeps everyone's friends list consistent. For the last part of my CRUD cycle, I can update my account information. If I tap on my username, it becomes editable. When I type in a new name and click save, that change is written straight to my Firestore user document with an update doc call. Because I'm using real-time snapshot listeners, the new username is immediately reflected everywhere, in the ranking screen, in the friends list, and even in the feed posts. This proves that all parts of the app are connected to the same live data source, so a single update keeps the whole system consistent. Now, I'll just play around and show you the game screen in action. At the top left, you'll see my best score, and at the top right, you'll see my coin balance. The lane mechanic is simple. One press moves the car right, release moves the car back left. This makes it perfect for one-hand use, which was one of my inspiration cards. The scrolling road you see under the car is a custom component. It loops a tileable road texture downwards using an animated value with a linear easing. The speed of that animation increases over time to ramp up difficulty. Obstacles, taxis and potholes, are spawned at intervals by a random generator. Each one is an animated view that moves from the top to the bottom of the screen at a speed linked to the road. I also have a rule to prevent wailing the player unfairly. For collisions, I use a simple AABB rectangle overlap check between the car's bounds and the obstacle's bounds.
Why you park the car there? You can't park the car there.
In my settings, you'll notice an unmute or mute setting. When I toggle that, I'm actually writing the state to async storage, so it persists across sessions, and I route all audio volume through refs, so the changes apply instantly without restarting. While playing, you can see your lives at the top left, as well as the coins earned and live score in the top right. Coins tick up every few seconds, and they are tied to score intervals. If I beat my previous high score during this round, a toast message will pop up saying, new high score. That's powered by an animated value, fade in and fade out, triggered when the score passes my locally stored high. That's why my game feels so rewarding mid-round. At the end of the round, I calculate my final score and coins earned, then save those back to Firestore with the transaction. That updates both my user document and my scores document. If it's a new high score, I also create a high score post in the feed, and if it's below 50, the wooden spood post. So even while I'm just playing normally, everything you see, The scrolling road, the obstacle spawner, the collision checks, the sounds, the score, and the coin system, and the toast messages are all working together in real time to make the game feel alive and consistent. So yes, that's the full walkthrough of Mzansi Drift, starting from my 3 inspiration cards, compete, camera, and one hand. I designed and implemented a retro arcade racing game with social features on top. Along the way I showed complete CRUD cycle, creating accounts and posts, reading live data, feeds, rankings, updating usernames, equipping items, and deleting accounts with full cleanup. I built the project in React Native with Expo, used Firebase for authentication, Firestore, and storage, and managed all my designs in Figma and Photoshop. Everything was version controlled on GitHub, with the repo fully up to date alongside this demo. Thanks for watching.